up on tonight's show, we're going to talk World Series of Poker main event. Here's a hint. A year ago, the winner would have had to use a fake ID just to buy beer. We'll see his win and the interview we grabbed right afterward. We'll be talking FullTilt.net's latest player acquisition, the first player to be added in over a year, and he's an online guy. You might know him by the name Durr. In studio, we'll be joined by Lon McCarron, host of the World Series of Poker on ESPN, a guy so dialed into poker that they named the Las Vegas airport after him. All that, plus we're proud to introduce a segment that's sure to leave a few people in stitches, either from laughter or from emotional damage. Dana Workman and her weekly misdeal, all that and more on Poker Tonight. Hello everyone and welcome to Poker Tonight. I'm Scott Huff and alongside me is my co-host, professional poker player Joe Seebach, a man with only slightly less Twitter followers than Perez Hilton.
Thank you, my man, I think. The fact of the matter is, Scott, that I can't think of any place else that I would rather be than sitting at this desk with you right now.
And it's always great to have you riding shotgun, and remember, you are riding shotgun. Coming up, we're going to show you some of the interview ace reporter Lacey Jones got with the world champ. We're going to take a look at which November Niner had the best cheering section, and special guest ESPN's Lon McCarron. But first, let's talk WSOP. 21-year-old Joe Cada made history last week, becoming the youngest World Series of Poker main event champion of all time and taking home $8.5 million. In a heads-up battle that included several lead changes, it all came down to this final hand between Joe Cada and runner-up finisher Darvin Moon. After Joe Cada raised his pocket nines, Darvin Moon re-raised. Cada then moved in.
Call.
And Moon called. It was a heck of a sweat for these last two cards as Cada and about 150 of his closest friends and family looked on. With the fall of the 7 of clubs, it was all over. Joe Cada had outlasted 6,493 other participants to become the 2009 main event champion and the youngest world champion of all time, breaking Peter Eastgate's record set just last year. The classy Cada instantly donned his new poker ambassador hat by first congratulating his opponent and then immediately starting on the interview circuit. One of those first interviews was with Poker Tonight's Lacey Jones.
You came in as a short stack into this final table. Did you ever think that this was possible, winning this main event? I mean, I know you had to be confident that you want to win, but were you a little bit nervous that this wasn't going to be your main event to win?
I mean, I knew the odds and the long shot of winning it, but I mean, there's always, it's poker, chips change real quick. I mean, I always knew there was a shot, though.
I got to ask you, there's a little play on nines here. What's your online name?
JCada99.
And your first hand that you played heads up against Darvin, there was a big hand. What was your hand, that one?
Nines.
And then the hand that you won with?
Nines.
Are you going to be playing nines for the rest of your life now?
Yeah, it looks like that's my new favorite hand. Everyone's like, what's your favorite hand? I normally say aces, so I guess I got to say nines now.
Congratulations, Joe. Great to see you. And how about showing Poker Tonight, your main event bracelet? Joe Cada, our 2009 main event champion. I'm Lacey Jones for Poker Tonight.
Now, that interview was shot about 11 seconds after his win. The kid immediately goes out and goes to work doing live interviews. He's accepted a number of mainstream media appearances already. It feels like he's willing to step into the spotlight and be an ambassador for the game. But is it fair that winning the main event now basically also comes with a job?
Well, the fact is that it does come with a job, but it's a pretty enviable job to have, I think, to be the top dog ambassador for the world of poker, at least for 1 year. Should it be mandatory? No, but I don't think that it is. Really, it's an opportunity. I certainly would snatch that job up in a second, but obviously it costs $10,000 to play the WSOP, and if somebody's lucky enough to take down that bracelet, they certainly don't have to.
Well, we're used to young champions in the game. The question is, do you think he'll be able to handle the pressure of being an ambassador for an entire industry?
Joe Cada is going to be taken as legitimately as his actions dictate that he should be. There's no question about that. If he wants to fill the ambassador role, the poker world is going to welcome him with open arms.
The outside world, though, I think might be a little different story. Saw in the paper yesterday, college dropout wins World Series of Poker. You don't see this in other industries. When Bill Gates releases a new version of Windows, it doesn't say Bill Gates, college dropout, releases Windows 7. It only happens, it seems, in poker. Exactly.
And to me, that's just totally a bunch of garbage. I hate that stuff. You know, there are plenty of college dropouts who have gone on to have successful careers in any number of industries. To me, that's just the press and the anti-poker fanatics trying to drum up a story.
Big congrats to Joe Cada. Go buy yourself an Xbox. Well, someone who did his job with flying colors and brought a lot of new players to the game was now former World Series of Poker commissioner Jeffrey Pollack, who resigned late last week. During Pollack's 4 years, he invented the 50K horse tournament, cut down on 90% of player complaints, and created the November 9 format where players return 5 months later for the final table. All not bad, Joe, for a guy who claims he didn't even know how to play poker.
Jeffrey Pollock definitely changed the game for the better. There's no question. And in addition, he spoke for us players sitting at the tables. I hope he finds his way back to poker. There's no question he's good for the game.
And finally, Seabach, a question for you. Who is most likely to be tapped as a replacement for the commissioner? Will it be Batman's Commissioner Gordon or Michael Chiklis, the commish?
I think this one's pretty obvious that it's going to be the commish.
Unfortunately, both choices were wrong. The correct answer for the new commish, Joey Knish from Rounders. All right, for more of Lacey Jones' interview with Joe Cata and also the event's runner-up, Darvin Moon, or to add your 2 cents to the show, be sure to check out Poker2Night.com. Still to come on the show, that girl right over there, Dana Workman, host of the Weekly Misdeal. Don't let the sweet looks fool you. She's got some bite. Dana, what's coming up?
Scott, Joe, the Weekly Misdeal, it's about poker dum-dums. And this week we're tackling the World Series of Poker main event. So stick around.
All right, Dana, thank you. When we get back, we're going to find out which November Niner took home the prize for the real competition, Best Cheering Section. And we'll be joined in studio by Lon McCarron. Poker Tonight, back after this.